Fred Joyal is one of the two founders of 1-800-Dentist, and for over 20 years was their CEO. His background is in the big agency of advertising, but most of his career has been dedicated to matching patients with dentists. Fred has met some of the most successful dentists in the United States and consolidated much of his experience promoting the best practices in his book, Everything is Marketing, the ultimate strategy for dental practice growth. And some of you have gotten a free copy of one of the chapters in the book. And it's a great book, by the way. I have a hardback copy, and I have it on my Kindle. It's a great book. And so Fred, in his book, explores the effect of all the small decisions you make and their overall impact on your practice. Fred is also a lecturer on dental practice marketing and has been invited to some amazing engagements, such as the Greater New York Dental Meeting, the best seminar ever with the Maddow Brothers, the Townie Meeting, and recently at Harvard School of Dental Medicine. Fred Joyal, welcome.
Thank you very much, Alex, and Heather out in Twitterland. Very exciting to be here and speaking with the all-stars out there and talking specifically about websites today. As you mentioned, Alex, I talk a lot about how everything that you do in your practice has an effect. Nothing is really neutral in terms of case acceptance, really. So that's the whole premise behind the everything is marketing concept. But speaking specifically about websites, they've really become the cornerstone of your dental practice marketing and presentation. Many times this had been either your signage or your yellow pages or just your business cards or just your reputation in the town. But the online world has changed how everyone behaves really in the world. And the way people use websites and how often they use them to access information about services and products that they are thinking about using or want to learn more about has radically shifted how dental practices have to present themselves to the world. And so what's really the most profound thing that's happened is that websites which used to be perfectly good and satisfying to Google and the other search engines to come up as a natural result when somebody's searching for you or a dental practice in your area, the criteria that they're using for the search engine optimization has radically changed in the past couple of years, and that's unfortunately it's rendered an awful lot of websites out there obsolete, not just dental practice websites, but many businesses' websites. But most businesses, especially the bigger businesses, operate with bigger website teams, whereas dental practices, this is an ancillary part of their business. But it's really important to have this website because it's where people are going when they're learning about you. They're turning to this for information about what it's like to be in your practice, and they're actually making a judgment about the quality of your dentistry based on the quality of your website. Now, but first of all, those things seem a little bit unrelated, of course, because they really are. But this is all people have to go on. So they're looking at the details of your website and the experience of using your website to make an assessment of how modern your practice is, how friendly, user-friendly, what's going on in there, what do people think of it. So it's become rather critical to have this website. Now, many dentists say, well, the point of it is to get me patients. It is to get you patients, but it's also to reinforce everything else that you're doing in all of your practice promotion. And now, to get patients from your website in the online world, there's only two real ways to get them. You have to pay for your website to appear when somebody searches dentist, your city, or your zip code, and you pay for those clicks to appear in certain parts of Google's website or Yahoo's website. Or your website needs to have relevant content, and there's also another important term that's been added, ever-changing content. It used to be that the content that you had was all that Google cared about. Was it relevant to what somebody's searching for? But now Google has decided that it's not just the content, it's how often that content is changing. Now, you're going to meet a lot of people in the advertising and marketing world for dental practices and really for any business, where they're going to promise you to get you on the first page. We're going to get your website to show up on the first page of a search. And that is really not possible to promise because of several factors. Short of paying, you can pay to be on the first page. But if somebody's saying, oh, we're going to make your website so good that it will appear on the first page, that's not really possible for them to do that because Google uses between 400 and 800 bits of information to decide if your website is relevant to a specific search and at what level it's going to offer it relative to other things that come up as a match. And Google doesn't tell us what most of those things are. They'll say, you need to own your domain name for a long time. It should have the word dentist or dental in it. Those things they're going to tell you. They're also going to tell you that they like video, they like pictures, they like reviews. They want to, and they want to see content changing. They're quite open about how they want to see new information appearing in your website, as well as relevant information appearing in your website. But the other thing that's really significant is that Google is examining the searcher's search behavior. So you could have two people sitting next to each other with two laptops, their own laptops, and they would do exactly the same search, and they would get different results because Google's offering up results based on the person's previous search behavior as well as what is relevant. So that's why it's really impossible for somebody to promise you that they'll be on the first. They'll get you on the first page. Now, they may get you on the first page for a few seconds and take a screenshot of it and show it to you and say, see, we got you here. But on a consistent basis, it's not really possible. You can do your best to have the right information there, and you'll appear more often than not as a search result. But much of that's out of your control. But the evolution, as I was saying, about search engine optimization is it's gone from just what was on your website, on page, as we call it, the content that's in the various levels of your website itself, to all of this other stuff that's happening in the outside world relating to you, your business, and your website. And so I call it the Google matrix because really Google is looking at beyond your website and its content and how much that changes. It's looking at LinkedIn. It's looking at your Facebook business page because it can see everything that's on there. It's looking at anything that's on Twitter. It's, of course, looking at YouTube. It owns YouTube. If you have a blog, it's looking at what's on there. And it's looking at the review world, what's written on Google reviews, of course, but also on Yelp reviews and City Search reviews and all of those places. It's aggregating all this information to decide if you're relevant or not. And this is where dentists have, the situation has changed for business owners, is that if you have a static website, which most people have, you have to pay to make changes. Usually you have to get your webmaster to do it. In other words, it's this fixed thing that you have no control over, whereas the new websites being built now are dynamic in that they can be changed all the time, easily by you, almost like a Facebook page. And some of that stuff can even change automatically, like reviews you can have fed in there that change the site automatically. But there's several things that you need to have a good website where you will be judged positively by the consumer who is searching for you. One of those big things is how your website looks on a phone. Because if they see a website that's been just shrunk down and people have to slide every which way to get the information and expand it to read something, they're making a judgment about you. You know who else is making a judgment about you? Google. Because Google has now said that it is deciding on your relevance. It is dinging you basically on the relevance of your site based on how slowly your mobile site loads onto a phone. Because and it's not a bad conclusion really that says if this website this company with this website hasn't adapted to mobile, they're not up with the times. So they're passing that judgment onto your relevance. A good website for phones should just change completely. It should be a dedicated look that puts up relevant information, easily viewable, touch screen, so you can tap a button and call, tap a button and get directions, tap a button to email or to request an appointment. And all you have to do is slide up and down on the smartphone to see things. Because people are using their smartphones for everything. I have a nerdy friend that you can't say anything or ask any question where he doesn't open his phone and search for the answer on Google. So that he seems like the smartest person in the room, whereas he's really just the person willing to look it up. But people do this. They go into Best Buy and they comparison shop right there in the store on their phone. And that's how they're looking for all sorts of businesses. There are more internet searches done on phones now than on computers. That's a radical shift. And it's going to continue to go in that direction because more and more people have 4G. Their phones are faster. And the websites come up easily, and they're in their hands. The next step that's important is that you have to have social media integration into your website and into your practice marketing because Google's looking at it. And the consumers are, of course, looking at it too. They're looking at it, that's another discussion altogether, how involved you have to be in social media. But Google wants to see that you're involved in social media. Facebook, Google+, which are the same thing with different companies basically, but Google Plus is becoming more and more critical, and of course it's a Google property, so they're looking at it. And things that are on Twitter and videos that are appearing on YouTube. And then links to your website, like your local chiropractor linking his website to your website. Those are very valuable things for SEO. And you should be doing them for businesses around you, and they should be doing it for you. And you should be getting your patients to like your Facebook page and follow you, because Google's actually counting those things as well as reading them. And so some of that content should be pulled straight into your website. And the other factor is you want to create a consistent look through all of these different platforms. You want to have your Twitter page and your Facebook page and your website all have a very similar look so that people see that consistency as they go through searching, because they're going to come at your practice all different ways. And people are looking for real reviews from real people, real patients. So they're going to Google, they're going to Yelp, they're going to your website. If you have a digital communication tool like Patient Activator or Demand Force or whatever, those reviews can be fed directly into your website so that people can read them. And they're reading authentic opinions that people have, which you have some control over. But they're also ever-changing content. The other jewel in the crown of SEO is that the content changes all the time. And it's one thing to have patient testimonials on your website. Those are nice, but most people know who wrote those. Video testimonials from the patient are completely different, incredibly powerful. They don't have to be well done. I recommend shooting them on a cell phone, but post them on YouTube, Facebook, and your website. You can even, if your website's built right, you can even have your Yelp reviews show up within your website. And so they don't leave and go to Yelp to look you up. They can see, you can say, look, these are the unvarnished reviews from Yelp right here on our website. And they don't leave and get ads for other dentists when they go. It's very important. And people are influenced by online reviews. At this point, they are looking to the masses to tell them what they think. So you need this content and you need this information and these opinions to show up in as many places as possible, but especially your website. Now, there's a lot of things about how websites have been built that are no longer helpful or actually can be quite harmful. The big one is Flash animation, which was many websites were built with various animation using Flash, and some of them were built entirely in Flash. None of these websites will even play on an Apple product, and half the smartphones are iPhones. And of course, half the tablets and half of the laptops are. So Steve Jobs decided to kill Flash, and basically that's what happened. So if your site has that, it shows like this little funny F and says basically we won't play the site or the image. If your site doesn't load fast enough, people bail out. We have become an impatient planet, basically. We stand in an ATM and we can't believe it's taking 15 seconds for us to get our money. I mean, that's when a page doesn't load in 2 or 3 seconds, people are gone. And there's 40% of them are out within 3 seconds of it loading. They just, because they're making a judgment, oh, this website's got to be too old to be loading like this. Or they're just impatient. They're not even making a conscious judgment. They're just going away. And there's several different versions of several different browsers. Now, browsers is something like Internet Explorer or Safari or Firefox. The website has to play well in all of those, and many websites break down in different browsers. Your website needs to be able to work in all of those and look and load properly and quickly. And how old does your site look? Because people are making a judgment. They see million-dollar websites all the time, and they see ever-changing content with well art-directed design all through it. But if yours has old design, they're deciding you're an ancient practice. You've got things like a visitor counter or music playing, perish the thought, or just somebody told you need all this content on the front page for SEO. That's a real old trick. Your website needs to have clear, simple information for people to be able to make an appointment or request an appointment easily. If you have promotional offers, if you have social media content that you want to post or reviews appearing, that has to show up easily. They need to find your phone number, your address easily. So you can see this site, it's a look that someone would go, oh, this is a modern dental practice, and look at the information. And yes, I can request an appointment. You want them to act. You don't want them to keep reading or keep searching. You're giving them an opportunity to say, hey, I like this. Let me request an appointment. Some sites still have a splash page that's loading. That's, they're gone if they see something like that. And, all of these hyperlinks and stuff like that. This is death. You need new content, fresh content, and you need to be able to change it yourself. You need a dynamic website that's been built for you so that somebody on your team can change this stuff easily all the time. In a few minutes, add a picture of a new patient, to have the reviews appear, put up a video testimonial. If you've got a blog post, have it appear. This is what makes the website vital and gives a great impression of the practice. And if you have offers, special patient offers or seasonal offers, Valentine's Day things, Christmas events or holiday events that you want to mention, you want to be able to put that stuff up easily. And you should be able to not have to pay every time you do it. This is the big challenge. Is many people have webmasters who have been charging them to do all of this stuff every time they need to do something. It makes the dentist reluctant to do it, understandably, because sometimes it's outrageous. New websites, you can change this stuff all the time. Get support. Your website should look good on a cell phone, play right. There should be social media connection in there. And you can change the look and feel of it easily. So when you're looking, these are some key questions to ask when you're looking for a website provider. Are they specialized in dentistry? Do they know that industry? Is the website on the phone fully dedicated? Do they integrate with social media? Do they host the site reliably? Because it's got to be up and playing. And how much can they do for you? Can they do it all? Because most of the time you're going to just say, here's some pictures, make it look right. Here's my logo. And then you want to be able to go in and do stuff yourself easily. And can it be customized, the look to fit on social media, on the mobile site, on the website? Does it adjust the tablets? Is all of that there? And are you paying for support, or is it included? Those are the key issues. Now, the 800 dentists, our clients, became so needy in terms of websites that we created a separate product called Web Director, where we started building websites that are dynamic websites for everyone. And now we offer it as a separate product. You don't have to be a 800 dentist member, but we're doing this because so many of our docs needed new websites. So we do it at a very reasonable price. There's unlimited customer service. It makes the right website on a cell phone. It plays in all the browsers. It updates automatically, so you don't have to do anything to make the functionality updated. Many times you'd have to go back to your webmaster and say, it's not playing right on Internet Explorer, the new version. Can you change it? Our code changes automatically in the background. You don't have to do anything. And there's one basic hosting fee every month, and there's a flat fee to set it up. Don't want to talk too much about it because I'm here more to answer questions about what you're going through with your own website design, but I wanted you to know what was available. And also, the Nottinghams wanted me to make sure you knew that if you were interested in my book, you can go to my blog and get it. It's in hardcover or in audio. And if you use the discount code ALLSTAR, it cuts the cost in half. So, or more than that, I think, because it includes the shipping. And if you have any questions from me directly about stuff, you can always email me at fred@1800dentist.com. So, Alex, that's
yeah,
the first half.
I really would encourage all of you, if you haven't read Fred's book, get it. I mean, this is one of the top dental marketing books in dentistry, and if you haven't read it, you need to, and your staff need to. It's a great book. I really I do endorse. I don't endorse many books, but that's one of them.